Well, hey there, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back again. Well, in front of me is the computer that I picked up at a garage sale today for $4. And the reason I got it so cheap is the gentleman said that one day it just stopped working. He said that he went to turn it on and he just kept hearing beeps. Now, that could mean just about anything. He couldn't explain to me what the beeps were, so I said, you know what, I'll give you the $4 for it, and I took it home. Just to recap, for those of you that didn't see my garage sale finds video, this is a HP Pavilion, a1540n, with an AMD Athlon dual-core 4200 CPU. Graphics on this is a GeForce 6150 LE, so it's the crappy built-in graphics. However, I do have a PCI Express graphics card that I had found sitting in my closet. Have absolutely no idea what kind of card this is. Figure we'll go ahead and give that a try if and when I actually get this computer to post. Originally came with 2 gigabytes of memory, though the previous owner did upgrade it to 4. I have verified that. Still has the stock 250 gigabyte SATA hard drive. It is a Seagate drive, so yay. And it has a dual layer DVD burner with light scribe on top. And then somebody, I don't know why, somebody just put in a crappy Memorex CD burner. This is really old, as a matter of fact. Okay, at least this is an ultra speed, so we know this is within at least the last 10 years. And they did such a crappy job that they didn't even align the drive right, so you can't even open it up. That's one of the first things I'll have to fix. You have a memory card reader here with a USB port that's a little dusty. Forgot to clean that out. Have to touch that up a little later. Under here you have your various audio ports, FireWire ports, and 2 USB 2.0 ports. So you have 3 USB 2.0 ports on the front. Go ahead and go to the side here. Go ahead and take the side of the case off, show you what we got going on inside. Alright, inside here we have what I believe is a stock Asus CPU cooler, and this is an Asus motherboard for those of you that are interested. This is let's see what this is, ABM-ZN-LA is the model of this board. Have another case fan here. I believe that's a 120 millimeter fan. There's that stock Seagate SATA hard drive, 250 gigabytes. And way under there, behind all those cables, is 4 gigabytes of DDR2 memory. The 2 sticks behind here are the original. These are Hynix brand, and the 2 over there that they added are Crucial brand, and that works well for me. I love Crucial. I've used their memory products for years. There are those 2 drives, the original on top, and then the bottom one, which doesn't work right now. It's really got to be adjusted. You could see they didn't even know how to use the guide screws. They just actually screwed it in there and really didn't put it in very well. So that's the first thing I'm going to fix. Here is what I'm thinking could be the culprit. That's right, guys. One of those crappy high-pro power supplies from back in the day. This one is a 300 watts, so it's decently powered, but in my experience, I have seen so many of these with bad caps, and unfortunately, more times than not, they wind up taking out the motherboards with them. In the back here is your power supply. You got your PS2 keyboard mouse ports. This one actually, like most HPs from this era, thinking right around 2006, has the digital audio out, but this is the coax version, not the optical. There's your VGA, just the 6150 card built in. 4 more USB 2.0 ports, another FireWire port, 6-pin FireWire port in the back, Ethernet port, 10100, and then your various audio ports. And then way down here by its lonesome is an old school modem. They were so cheap, getting so cheap with the modems, they didn't even have a dual jack so you could plug in a phone. It's just a line in, not a line out, so you could actually use your telephone at the same time. Let's go ahead and boot this system up. I'm going to check the power supply first. I don't have an extra power supply, so I'm going to have to trust that this one is at least decent enough to boot the system. I am going to take it out and look at the capacitors first just to see if there are any bloated ones. If they're not, we'll go ahead and boot this system up. So talk to you guys in a few minutes. All right, all the capacitors look good, so I'm going to go ahead and plug the power in and see what we get. Wow, that's interesting. The system turned on by itself. Not necessarily a good sign. And I see that the hard drive light is staying on. Let's go ahead and try to turn it off real quick. Okay, so the motherboard is at least semi-functional, but that's not a good sign. When it turns on automatically and the fans stay at that test speed, usually means there's a motherboard issue. So let's try this one more time. Maybe we'll get lucky. Well, what do you know, guys? Let's try to go into the BIOS. Okay. It is seeing the 4 gigabytes of RAM, and I was correct. It is DDR2. We have the HT. That is actually the. I think that's the light. Yeah, that's the LightScribe drive, DVD drive. Here's the Memorex drive, and then here's the 250 gigabyte SATA Seagate drive. See if there's anything else interesting we can get to in here. Okay. CPU is stock. AMD Athlon 64. Looks like runs at 2.2 gigahertz. Got 512 megabytes of cache per core, so it's about what I'd expect from a AMD of this era. Primary video adapter is PCI because it's using the built-in. PS2 mouse, yep, I have that installed. Everything else looks good here. Both SATA controls are enabled. You really only have to have SATA 1 enabled because the optical drives in here are IDE. So everything here looks good. Very, very sparse settings in this BIOS. I wonder, I might try to flash this BIOS to a newer version. It's a Phoenix, so I might be able to go to their site and figure out exactly what this BIOS is. Maybe by flashing it and updating it, we can get some more features. But let's go ahead and try to boot this system, see what happens. Booting into good old Microsoft Windows XP, and this is the Media Center 2005 edition. Alright, boy, it took a while for Windows to load on this, but it came to this screen, and as you can see, it is password protected. I'm not even going to try to guess what the password is because I'm not interested in keeping Windows XP on here. I'm going to go ahead and run some diagnostics, make sure the hard drive and the RAM and everything are in good shape. Then I think we're going to go ahead and load Windows 7 on here. Oh, and while that was loading, I fixed this pesky second burner drive, so now it actually opens properly. I actually had to add the guide screws. I took out the stupid regular case screw they put in there because with these cases you have to use the proprietary guide screws that they actually include, and they actually have them sitting right behind this panel, so I'm not sure why they didn't know that. Probably just novices. Let me go ahead and run those diagnostics, and I'll give you an update on this computer in a little while. Well, a little bit of bad news. The fan that was on this thing was just totally shot. So I took the fan off and I just put the heat sink back on. So I'm gonna go ahead and try this in the computer. Because it's a low power card, I really don't think it needs a fan. We're gonna see how hot it gets. If it winds up getting too hot, then I'll probably just go with the stock card, but I'm gonna try this at least for now. Alright, so I got MemTest version 5.01 running on here. So far, so good. You can see it does show all 4 gigabytes of the RAM. I am running that PCI Express video card, which I don't know what it is right now. I'm running it without the fan on there, just the heat sink. So I'm going to go ahead and, when this is over, go ahead into the BIOS and check the temperatures, make sure that's not overheating. But yeah, everything looks good so far. You can read the latency on that is 44412. Running 128-bit mode. It's DDR2 551. I don't know why it reports it as that. RAM is running at 275 megahertz. So yeah. See, that's not right either, because I believe this is 333, but that's fine. MemTest does not always report the correct information, but the important thing is I test the memory and make sure there are no glitches in there. And once I'm done with this, we'll go ahead and move on to the hard drive. Alright, got some good news. I left the computer for a couple hours and had MemTest do a few passes, and sure enough, no errors. So the next thing to run is CTools. Alright, and as you can see, now I'm in CTools, and of course the reason I'm using CTools is because what's in here is a Seagate hard drive. Not to mention, this is a very, very good program for testing hard drives, looking for any types of failures, you know, circuit board failures, platter failures, what have you. And let's see what it says here. The drive is idle, Smart is enabled and has not been tripped, so that's a good sign. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and select that drive, go to Basic Tests, and go ahead and select the Long Test option. And this will probably take anywhere between 1 to 2 hours. And when it's done, I'll give you guys the results. Talk to you in a little bit. I have some good news. It was touch and go there for a few minutes. Initially, CTools reported that the drive had failed because of some bad sectors. But the nice thing about CTools is if you have CTools and you also have a Seagate hard drive like I do here, you can go ahead and attempt a repair on the sectors. And that's what I've done. And as you can see, the hard drive is now passed, but it said passed after repairs. I don't think this needs any more testing. I may run Western Digital Data Lifeguard tools later. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and install Windows 7 on this machine, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when everything's complete. So, alright, YouTube, it is the next day, and I am just about done with this HP tower. Go ahead and show you the final product here. That video card wound up being a NVIDIA GeForce 8300 GS, so not a bad card at all. Go ahead and show you guys the specs on this again real quick. I have not installed the antivirus software yet. That's going to be the very last thing I do after all the updates. So you can see it's running Windows 7 now, Service Pack 1, AMD Athlon, dual core, running at 2.2 gigahertz. And we still have a good amount of hard drive space left. Even after all the installs, still got 196 gigabytes. And the system is running beautifully. So what am I going to do with this? Well, I'm probably going to put this up for sale. I really don't have a need for another system. But as you guys know, I love working on these things, and I think this will make somebody a good tower. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.